Hello, and welcome to Prog Review. Yeah, I don't know. I read about the death of Sean Malone. Sean Malone I don't know if he's anyone you've heard of, but as soon as I saw the name, it took me back to the turn of the century. He's probably best known for his work with a band called Cynic. Again, it's not music that I'd listened to, but I came to him via the project I'm going to be talking about today, a band called Gordian Knot. Released 2 albums. I'm going to talk about both of them. Let's talk about both of them. But anyway, Sean Malone died, only age 50. Again, Sniper's Alley. I'm not there long there myself. And again, came close to the death of Harold Budd. He was 84, so good innings. But yeah, I saw the headline and thought, it instantly took me back to Gordian Knot. You may or you may not be familiar with the band and the 2 albums that came out. The first album was released in 1999, and the follow-up, which was self-titled, and the follow-up, Emergent, was out in 2003. I don't know. Could you say it's a prog supergroup? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because there's lots of different elements to it. The first album, the self-titled one, features Trey Gunn from that band, and he's the reason that I was in, because when these albums were released, I was in gainful employment and buying lots of CDs and whatnot. And yeah, so you've also got John Young from Dream Theater and Sean Reinhart from Cynic as well. And I think Sean Reinhart died earlier this year as well. So the whole rhythm section of Cynic has died this year. But yeah, it was an interesting project. The first album, again, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page just to help my mind be remember it, because again, this is nearly 21 years ago now, and it only feels like yesterday. I came to it via obviously the Trey Gunn link, and it was interesting. Again, it's the bits I like about it. It's very angular, and there are certain elements to this that remind me of that band, but there's also like they were doing, I wouldn't say copying, but there comparisons could be drawn. Be careful how I word this. Comparisons can be drawn with what Tool were doing at the time, and whatnot. So you've got this again very angular, metronomic, heavy, because it is heavy, but through the heaviness, because what they call it, is it djent? That jugga jugga noise. There's a lot of jugga jugga, but there's also some really nice melodic pieces, and again from Trey Gunn, and I guess it's John Young as well. Again, I don't know who plays what. There's a lot going on with it. There's a lot going on with this album. So yeah, I mean, some of it I didn't really, some of that jugga stuff goes on a bit, you know what I'm saying? But I did enjoy the more melodic pieces, and I knew where its musical DNA was coming from. So I found it a very interesting project at that point. And some of it, again, because of Trey Gunn's association here, some of the stuff on here does sound very much in line with what Trey Gunn was doing with his solo career and then the Trey Gunn band. So yeah, those parts of it I fully got into. So for me, it was like 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Some of it I liked, some of it I wasn't so keen on, but I hung around for the good bits. But it was the second album, Emergent, which was released in 2003, that got a lot of the press. How so? Because at this time, both Bill Bruford and Steve Hackett appear on it. And this is the first time, as far as I can remember, that we had like kind of the old guard of prog in Hackett and Bruford appearing with more, with young fellas. Now it's not so much of a shock because you see these crossovers happening a lot more now. That fella, from that Stevie Weasel fella did it a lot, but Gordian Knot and the Emergent album was the first real instance that I was made aware of the old guard kind of being dusted off and being brought out to play. Emergent, again, it follows very much from the previous album, though there are some other elements. I mean, the good thing about the self-titled album is you did have this when it wasn't going jugga-junk, jugga-junk, there was this ethnic percussion line that I was really digging at the time. Again, this is when I referenced the Trey Gunn material. Again, do check out his stuff. I have to do some more of his stuff. And I really like that. I like that mixing of Eastern and Western. I like the I like that kind of thing. If you follow me all these years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's kind of dropped. It's kind of put to one side the Indian percussion elements, and we've gone for more of a standard. And this one is more in line with what that band and Tool are doing. This is even more so. And again, if you like that kind of thing, especially the more experimental end of that market, you're gonna like this. Again, my biggest criticism of these records is they do go on a bit. They are a bit long. And some of the production is a little bit dubious. It's a little bit muddy in places, but what can you do about it? It's one of those records that, again, I don't know if it may have passed you by. It's all instrumental. I forgot to mention that this is all instrumental music. There's no singing, thank God. And if you like progressive metal, did we have progressive metal back then? If you like progressive metal that does veer towards the more tasteful side of progressive instrumental music, there is stuff here. It's not going to be for everyone, and it can test your patience somewhat. But I wanted to talk about it because Sean Malone he's a bass player. He plays Chapman stick and fretless bass, which is, again, I think that's his main instrument. There is some clips of him on YouTube doing his thing, but I just wanted to mention him because, again, he passed, and it gets close to home when I start talking about people in their 50s knocking off. See, in my mind, I'm still 17. I might not be here next week, Sniper's Alley and all that. So I just wanted to mention it because as soon as I saw his name, I just remember these albums. And I remember, digging it at the time, and I listened to them a lot. Obviously, I don't listen to them now, but I listened to them the other day when I heard. And I thought, what the hell? Let's make a video and let's talk about it, and maybe I can point you in the direction. I'm not sure where you find them. I think the CDs have been deleted. I sold my copies years ago, before we had Verity, the first great purge of CDs. But of course, I have the digital edition. For I ripped them because I am a terrible, terrible man. I'm a bad man. Don't you forget that. I think Emergent is on YouTube Music, so it must be on Spotify as well. Check your digital services for it. And I thought, I don't know, that made me a bit sad because and then I read that his colleague who also plays on this, Sean Reinhart, who plays on this album, the drummer, died as well, and I thought, oh blimey. Maybe we should cover this because it's not somebody that you might have heard of, and again, it's a little bit left of field. I know some of you like these more obscure titles, these more out there things. But like I said, there's bits of this that really speak to me. There's bits of this that I really did enjoy. I mean, there's bits of it I didn't. That's you can't like everything, but the bits I did like, I really did enjoy, and yeah, so that's it. I mean, I've kind of wandered on. It's not a very good review. I'm sorry. Again, it's very hard to talk because it's instrumental music. There's not a lot to grab onto in terms of detail because it's of an ilk. When I say progressive metal, you know exactly what I mean by that. But yeah, I just wanted to do this as a kind of a little tribute to Sean Malone and these two albums because again, back in the day, I did listen to them a lot. And I thought they were interesting, and I thought it was the way certain bands were going to go. And it might sound a little bit quaint to you now because time's moved on. Nearly 17 years since 17 years since this was released. So yeah, give it a check out. Like I say, use Bruford and Hackett, with the cool kids. And that's reason alone to give it a listen. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. This has been me talking about Gordian Knot, almost a prog supergroup, I guess, from the turn of the century, featuring the bass playing of Sean Malone, who's now gone, and Sean Wright. The two Seans, the rhythm section. Yeah, so. Seek it out. You might enjoy it. You might not. But there's enough prog DNA in there, for you to get something from it. Thank you for watching. I'm Darren Locke. There's only one more thing left to say. By now, we all know what that is, and that is prog on.